Hello and welcome to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
I'm Corey Baumeister.
And we got Rob in the booth. Say hi to the people, Rob.
Hi to the people, Rob.
Does it perfectly every time. As always, we are brought to you by Star City Games and Carnox Chairs. Make sure you go to carnox.com/SCG. If you want one of these, you will get 10% off of your purchase.
Seems like you really had to think about that. You're like, what? Where are we?
It's been a few days. A long tournament weekend. You know, we're getting back in the groove of things.
Hey, you would remember it if you owned a Carnox chair at home.
I know, Cedric. Where's my free Carnox chair? I would be a better, happier, more productive employee.
Would you really be happier?
A little bit.
Okay. All right. Let's get it there.
I'd be happier about my ability to bend people to my will than actually physically owning the chair.
Sure. You'd probably just keep it in a box at home and not actually assemble it, but just prove that you've done it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a trophy. I would mount it and put it on my wall.
Nice.
In the box.
Nice.
It's a showpiece.
I like it.
Conversation starter.
Makes sense to me. Yeah, like, hey, Ross, why would you not assemble a chair that you have? And B, why would you put it on the wall? Do you know how to chair, sir?
I am a maverick. I do things my own way.
That's true.
And I'm unapologetic about it.
That's fair.
We are continuing our foray into the Pioneer format here on Versus Live, and we are having a great time with it.
Oh yeah, Pioneer's just been a blast. I mean, what we were talking a little bit about, like how many decks were in the deck dump, and I know some of them kind of overlapped, but something like 150 different decks. Like, we're clearly not the only ones loving Pioneer here. That's for sure.
Yes, we are definitely not, and been a huge response from the community about it, and we finally have some results from online. There was a challenge event last weekend,
yes,
and there was a deck dump yesterday, 137 5-0 deck list. The Wizards felt compelled to give us all of them.
I like it.
Excellent. So
I like it.
A lot of stuff to go through. We are focused on the challenge today. We've got 5 decks from that challenge and then one 5-0 list. So we're looking at the decks that are doing well in the early days of this format. A couple of them are more refined lists from what we played last week.
Yeah.
So we're sort of on the right track in a few different spots. But the lists are getting better and they're starting to get tuned. And then we've got a few new ones as well. So we are going to start off with the winning list from the challenge on my side. This is Sultai Midrange.
Okay.
Last week we played a Sultai Delirium deck. This deck is not trying to achieve Delirium. But we do have some similar cards. Jace's Prodigy is still here. Corsair Crewfix is still here. We've got that really good Black and Golgari removal suite with Thoughtseize, Abrupt Decay, or Fatal Push, and Assassin's Trophy.
That's just got to be like the best disruption in the format is those 4 spells, and they all happen to be able to be played in there. So it makes a lot of sense that week 1 they were able to just answer whatever is being thrown at them, because it's essentially a bunch of nonsense for the first big tournament. Everyone's just playing. There's just hundreds of ideas coming in. So you want to have a deck that is either doing something very linear and trying to close out the game in its own way, or something that has a wide variety of answers that isn't focused on, Noxious Grass main deck like we're seeing in Standard or something like that. Like Assassin's Trophy just deals with everything. Abrupt Decay, pretty much everything.
Yeah, curves are a lot more condensed, so Decay gets better. This deck wanted Abrupt Decay so badly, there's 2 copies of Vraska Golgari Queen.
Oh,
so basically, Decay, but extra.
Yeah.
A few other planeswalkers. We got Liliana Last Hope. We do have our Okos and Gilded Goose. So that's a staple of this archetype. And then Dig Through Time to generate card advantage. So just a pile of really powerful cards. We should have good mana. We got some acceleration.
Sultai Trade Binder, essentially, right?
Yeah. And it's going to be up against a doozy of the format. This is one of the most successful decks of the weekend. A couple copies in the top 8 of that challenge. A lot of different variants.
Infinite copies, actually.
A lot of different variants in the deck dump as well.
Yeah.
This is your favorite.
This is my favorite. I'm home, y'all. I am home. I'm playing 4-color Copycat again. Now, the last time we tried to play it, it was more based on energy, right? Like we were trying to make Whirler, Virtuoso, and stuff work. I think just Teferi is just a by far superior way to do these things, as well as Oko. We're seeing Oko just, start with Standard, create a wrecking ball through that, go to Modern, start making waves there, now just start crashing into Pioneer. Oko is just really making a dent on everything.
The deck also won the Legacy and Vintage challenges last weekend.
It's unreal.
Yeah, the card is multi-format all-star.
Yeah, no kidding. Absolutely unreal. But just Teferi and being able to protect as well as tempo out different creatures, I think is a huge upgrade from what I played last time. Oath is something that makes your mana base just so much easier.
Really good with Teferi too. Great card to bounce proactively, generate some value.
Exactly. So, I mean, just basically, this is just a straight up better list than the one that I played with. You know, that was before we had any information. We were kind of stabbing in the dark, and I was just basing it off of kind of the energy strategy. But I think basing it off the 3-mana planeswalkers with accelerants is just a cooler and better way to go.
Yeah, I agree. I think this list looks really good. There's a couple different ways we saw people play the cat combo in the deck dump. There are Jeskai lists that are very planeswalker heavy. You know, they're playing Narset, Chandra, Torch of Defiance, in addition to Teferi and Saheeli. And, you know, they're great. They're great to blink with Felidar. A lot of them are just playing Felidar Guardian for creatures, so they're more like control decks. They get to play like Deafening Clarion, Supreme Verdict. So they're like a Super Friends control deck that also has this combo finish. So that's a neat way to do it.
I like that too.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of these mid-range builds.
Tend to be more proactive when it comes to cat combo, because it's really nice to put your opponent on kind of the back foot, trying to deal with other things to maybe protect their planeswalker or something, and then you just get to accidentally be like, oops, got ya.
Yep.
But still viable.
Yeah, definitely. It's still a proactive strategy, right? It's just not quite as fast out of the gates.
Yeah.
You're slamming planeswalkers, and these can be hard to deal with. And the list that I saw that I liked had a couple of copies of Sarkhan the Master list. So that gives you another thing. If your opponent is really playing hard to stop the combo and holding up removal, and they're not playing to the battlefield, your planeswalkers are going to start generating value. They're going to start sticking around. You can land a Sarkhan and just end the game in a hurry that way.
That's true. Yeah, you can just keep activating every planeswalker and just saying go and be like, just do something, and then you progress your board with the win.
So it's unclear which lists are the best at this point. I think this shell is doing the best so far. It's definitely my pick for the best one, but there's a couple other ways to go about it. Cat combo looks to be, you know, a staple, you know, pillar of the format thus far. So this matchup is going to be really important, and I want to get into it.
It's straight a meowsing. Amazing meow. We can cut that out, right, Rob?
Yeah, that's not going to be.
This isn't Bash Bros with BBD. You can't make puns around me and expect me to just laugh like a trained monkey.
Hey, he makes them back at least, okay? You know, I get a little cooperation from him on that side.
Yeah,
but
you're not getting any from me.
That's fair. All right, well, let's start it up, because this is my favorite deck. I think my second favorite. I played some Bant Company for my dropping bombs tomorrow, and oh my god, is that deck unreal fun as well.
Nice.
Like, ooh. Okay, well, I can't beat you in Pioneer to save my life. You've had the marbles every single time, so I'll...
You'll be on the play?
Yeah. I miss the days of Standard when they would always rest over here, but now I'm not the Pioneer I once was.
Remember, Rob's going to be taking all your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. So make sure you tag at Star City Games so he can see them and send his favorites over to us. And we'll take some questions when we do sideboarding at other points in the show.
I love it. Okay, this hand's pretty strong here. Missing a couple elements because, well, plain and simple, the mana base is always a little awkward, but I can't really see us mulliganing this.
And my hand looks great. We got a couple ways to take it, but it's just a great mix of stuff.
Okay, so we're going to start with going to 18 here. And now we got options. We got options what to play here.
Turn one, Corey.
I know. I think if we take a peek at my hand now, I think this is usually better to get down first. So I think we're just going to start with an Elvish Mystic.
Oh, let's play it. Turn one Elvish Mystic is good? Okay.
That's what I do. Turn one Elves for life.
If we had to think about that, that kind of makes me think you have another mana creature, and maybe you wanted to get Elf down before Gilded Goose, which suggests you also don't have an Oko.
Wow. That's what I was gonna say out loud, but you know, you're just gonna ruin the game's integrity with me trying to talk up my plays. I see how it is.
You know, the pause gives away a lot of information. You got to play fast.
Well, I would play fast if I was just playing you, but I'm trying to, you know.
The things you do for the audience.
Yeah.
I do have a Gilded Goose, however.
All right.
We'll get a food and then pass the turn.
Okay. All right.
I forgot the sound effect, Ross.
What sound effect?
You got to say honk, man.
Do I?
That's the new cool thing that kids are doing these days. I hate it, but so we're gonna go like this now. Yeah, there's not any huge pressure, so we're just gonna get Saheeli down and then force you to have a removal for it if you wanted to kill it and start dealing you a damage.
I'm at 17.
All right, we'll do a little scry. Don't want that, and we'll pass to you.
Okay, I will start this turn off with a Thoughtseize.
All right, what are you going to take?
I will select Felidar Guardian.
Good call.
I'm at 15, and you scry to the bottom?
I scried to the bottom, yep. There's another gilded goose. I didn't need that.
Still don't think there's any point in taking the risk here. We're going to give you, a free scry things. We'll just make a black with the goose and decay the Saheeli.
Decay, okay. Makes sense. Well, my combo was looking very promising last turn and very unpromising now, but oh well, what can you do?
You want to leave the cards up?
Yeah,
you got
sure.
Oathland and goose.
Yeah. So we drew a nice one here. We're going to do this for sure.
It is indeed a nice one.
Yeah. Okay, so now I think we're just going to make food, or we can go breeding pool goose, animate that food, which is reasonable as well. You are going to be pretty constrained on mana. I would rather actually just get another body into play, just in case you do just go Abrupt Decay number 2. So we're going to take 2 and alkify this food.
So you're at 16?
Yes, I'm at 16 and you're at 15?
Yep.
Okay. Do we alkify the food or the goose is the real question. Yeah, we'll do the food.
Gotta be the food.
It's gotta be. All right, 16 to 15. And the nice thing about this deck is, yeah, of course it has the combo and that's what you want to be working towards, but there's just powerful 3-mana planeswalkers,
Yeah, this Oko is
it's loco.
A huge problem.
Absolutely loco.
Wow. Like, this Oko is basically unbeatable.
Do you think before White Claw Rob was White Claw Rob, he was Oko Loco? Oko for Loco? What do you think, Director Rob?
No.
There's some gaps in my memory, but I believe the answer to that is yes.
Oh, so I'm going to say yes. That's gapped out a lot of people's memories.
Okay, which one of these creatures do I want to play? Corey's going to have the option to trade a goose for it, but that'll deal with the Oko, which is kind of nice. Like, that's at least reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
So which one is most threatening, and which one can potentially get me to
the Promised Land?
Removal spell for the Oko next turn, and I think it's got to be Jace. So I will go to 13 and cast Jace, Vryn's Prodigy.
All right.
And pass the turn.
Yeah, I really don't want to get rid of Oko, so I probably won't.
Yeah. Jace not particularly good out of your deck. Not a lot of spells over there.
Yeah, I did top deck a nice one, though. We're going to start with an Oath. Oh, baby. These cards are all so good. We got options here. I think we're just going to go with this.
This is why I never play Thoughtseize decks. You just Thoughtseize your opponent, and they just play off the top the rest of the game. It's so frustrating.
Yeah. It really is. It really is. I think we'll go with the old Reflector Mage here.
I'm getting tempoed out to the extreme.
Let's send that back.
If I was on the play this game, I would be winning by so much.
Sure. That's what they all say.
I will go to 7.
Your turn. Wow, you're at 7 already?
Yeah,
and look at this beautiful draw. Rob, check out this card we drew here. This is nice. I didn't even know this card was in the deck.
I mean, just over here playing standard.
Yeah. I don't give away my tech now.
What am I even going to do? Like, I have to block 2 things next turn. If you, I guess you turn Elvish Mystic into an Elk. Is the most damage you can present, and then I do have to block 2 things.
Elkish Mystic.
So we'll play a Courser.
Okay.
A little short on that one.
Right on time.
Pass the turn.
Oh my God, these cards. Which way to kill you? You want to pick your poison?
Yeah, I'm dead.
Yeah, we'll botch this. Alkify, boom.
If I'm on the play, I go Goose, you go Elf, and I just Liliana it. I'm miles ahead.
Well, if you were on the play, I would have started with Goose. That was my choice.
Okay.
I had all 3 of these as an option.
That makes sense. If I start on Goose, then you know Liliana might come, and you start on Goose.
100%.
Still, like, if I get Courser down on turn 2 or something, and just anything down ahead.
Oh, yeah.
But because you had turn 2 Saheeli, I'm just on the back foot immediately.
Yeah.
Had to deal with it. Needed you to sort of take a turn off and a couple good draws, and I just drew absolute gas, no lands,
just beautifulness. And honestly, I mean, like, look what you did very early. Like, your turn 2 was completely stripped both sides of the combo. You took care of the combo, but then, I mean, a timely Oko just allowed me to actually outvalue you know?
Yeah, no, that was Oko looking incredibly good there, basically just taking the game over by itself.
Yeah, pretty much.
We got plenty of time. We want to do another game one?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think our sideboards are getting a little bit more refined, but I still think, playing 2 game ones and then getting into sideboards. Maybe if some of our matches are quick, try some best of 5. I mean, I think that's still the way to do.
We're still getting used to the texture of a lot of these matchups, too.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I've been playing Saheeli in my sleep for, since 16
Yeah,
or
but you've been playing with a tune to the ether.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. This is much more fun playing with ramp creatures.
Yes.
You got any questions while we shuffle up, Rob?
Yes, I do.
What do we got?
Just wants to know, do you think Sultai won the challenge because it, as a mid-range deck, is just that good, or is it because people haven't discovered the truly unfair things you can do in this format yet?
Well, I mean, I think, first of all, Goose into Oko is pretty unfair. It still doesn't seem like maybe it's going to be as broken as Standard just because it is more manageable, but it's still very broken. But I think the reason why it won the challenge is just all the removal is good against everything, right? So, I mean, it was very prepared for just whatever the format was being thrown, whatever the format threw at it. So I think that's just a solid reason. It just plays good cards. I'm sure it was a great player playing it. And was just well versed to deal with anything.
I think the shell is very strong. It's playing some of the most powerful threats in the format in Jace, Courser, Oko, Tireless Tracker, good Planeswalkers, card advantage. It has dig through time, one of these cards that may, see a ban at some point. So that checks a box. And like Corey said, the removal was very strong against a lot of what other people are doing. The other successful decks were Is It Phoenix, Copycat, Mono Green Devotion. Fatal Push, Thoughtseize, Abrupt Decay is really good against all of those decks.
All of them, yeah.
So I think the removal suite was well situated both for the decks that were doing well and broad enough to cover the sort of unknown factor in this new format and first tournament of it. So I think it was a good call for week 1. Normally you think a removal heavy deck is super reactive. This deck is proactive. You can play turn 2 Okos, turn 2 Coursers, build that advantage if your opponent stumbles.
And then you just have one of those key turns where you just go like Abrupt Decay that, Thoughtseize your hand, Fatal Push this, and you're just like, okay, I'm dead, know?
Then your opponent draws Oko and you lose.
And I think we were playing it a little differently because we were trying to get Delirium going and stuff. And like these are cards that just need help from other cards. This deck, every single card is on its own is phenomenal.
Yes.
So then you're combining them, and it's one of those things that you were talking about in the early format where there's decks that are going to have like old Standard decks that were really good within their block and stuff, or the decks that have cross blocks or whatever, where you're getting just cards from every single set that didn't really play well together. These are just great cards from across these last 7 years, and you're just seeing good stuff come out of it.
Yeah. So I think this is a deck that will be here to stay.
Yeah, same. And I think both. Both of these are going to be staples. There's some stuff we're messing around with.
This deck might not stay around, but not for the lack of trying.
Yeah, I'm going to play it until they tell me to stop, though.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this hand will not be sticking around.
Yeah.
5 lands, 2/3 drops is
nice transition, man. Nice transition into the game. That's impressive. This hand will be sticking around until it gets banned. Now, this hand is good. We have
I'm getting word in actually that it has been banned right now. So,
okay. All right, we're going to be heading to round 2.
Corey gets disqualified from today's episode.
Oh man, I'm never gonna get my marbles. I'm always just gonna lose my marbles.
I think you mean my marbles.
Today, yeah, absolutely.
Every day.
I don't know, man. Back in the beautiful gingerbread land of Throne of Eldraine Standard, it felt like me and marbles. Like we were starting to get semi-serious. We were like kind of getting exclusive there for a sec. I mean, I was asking them to move in with me pretty soon. But.
My great-great-great-grandfather Adolphus didn't bring these marbles from the old country for you to covet them so lustfully.
All right. Well, after you get what was the disease from early pioneers?
Smallpox?
No, wasn't it like dysentery? Yeah,
from Oregon Trail.
Yeah, from the Oregon Trail. Like once you get dysentery, I'll take that back from all your pioneering. Okay.
No dysentery for Adolphus. Not that I know of.
Yeah, if we take a look at my hand, it is pretty sweet. I mean, just everything about this hand just makes me happy and excited and sad that it might go away. Just a mixed bag of emotions.
Would you say a glass case of emotion?
Sure.
What about a glass casket?
D- for you, Rob.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I deserve that.
Yeah.
I think this hand is keepable.
I'm rubbing off on you, man.
Yeah. It is not great, but we will definitely bottom that one since it's very hard to cast. And I'm going to start on a Fabled Passage.
The Fabled of the Passage.
Wow.
Okay, so we drew a nice little land here, and we'll get our Mystic.
That's a tilt.
T.
Okay, I will get a Swamp with this Fabled Passage.
All right, and then we'll pass it to you. And once again, I probably would think about not playing this if there was a Goose on the other side where Liliana could just destroy me, but here I think it's reasonable.
Yeah, underrated aspect of the Goose is having that second point of toughness.
Yeah.
Okay, I will...
Have you ever tried to approach a Goose? They are tough, so...
I've seen plenty of people chased by them in college. So.
Yeah, it's always fun.
I'm going to play a Goose, get a food,
okay.
and I'm going to Thoughtseize you.
Okay, my hand is quite good. I got some stuff.
Okay.
I got some things.
I think I am going... Wow. I guess you can't cast Fairy next turn.
Yep, you're correct.
I think your next turn is probably going to be Oath Heart, but if I take either one of those, you just play Rogue Refiner, unless you draw land to play Teferi.
Yeah.
I'm not super concerned about Teferi bouncing the Goose, but I am concerned about Teferi
just... bounce that,
yeah,
for sure, yeah.
Food. That I actually am very concerned about. Yeah, even though you can't cast it next turn, I think I have to take the Teferi.
Yeah.
I can't really break a hole in your curve because these three present two different paths for next turn.
Yeah.
So I think I just have to take the scariest card, and that's
Teferi is really scary for you. Not only like now, just with the tempo, but just with the threat of not being able to interact with the combo at instant speed is pretty terrifying.
If I don't have a battlefield that's going to attack it down from the one loyalty, then it's a card I have to remove. Otherwise, the combo is too threatening.
Yeah.
And it's already generated a card in value and some tempo bouncing a permanent of mine, or maybe an extra card bouncing your Oath. So it's just such a good card in this deck.
It really is.
Remarkably. Like, we already know how good that card is, but this might be the single best shell I've ever seen for it.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I have nothing to add there because I just think you're 100% right. So now if we take a look, this is what I drew.
Can we clip that?
Please no. Please no.
Save that forever.
I'll deny it. I'll deny it until the day
video
I die.
evidence.
I'll still deny it.
It's been doctored.
It was edited.
Yeah.
So for here, what I want to kind of thing to do is to play around Liliana. And the best way to do that is probably just to get Heart in play and then be able to attack it with Rogue Refiner, crewing it next turn. I'm not sure because Rogue Refiner is an appealing play as well, but we're going to start with Oath just because that's really important to get into play too. Wow. Okay. So, bunch of great options here. I think we just want to go with this for now. We don't actually have the mana to cast this right now. I mean, we can with what we drew. That's tough. That is really tough. Wow. Okay. Let's go with Teferi. Two insanely great options. And then we'll go take two.
18 all.
Fall to 18. Play a Heart of Kirin, and then pass to you. That was a tough one to put to the bottom, I have to say, and it might have been wrong. But Teferi is quite good. All right, so things I'm afraid of. Vraska's pretty strong. Liliana on my Mystic is just absolutely annoying.
What do I do here?
I like that you only got 3 cards, though.
Yeah. What do I do here?
You already said that.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this we played like one practice game leading into this, and just insanely deep turns from each side because there's so many powerful cards to play as early as turn 2, you know? So there's so many ways to think. Just another reason to prove why this format is just unbelievable.
Yeah. So
someone should really make a podcast about this format. I'd listen.
I wonder who might have done that. So because of Oath of Nissa, Corey can cast Teferi. He can use his mana for white for Planeswalkers.
Yep.
So I am almost assuredly losing my food next turn. So I think I might as well use it now.
Time to eat.
I'm going to play Vraska.
Okay.
And I am going to minus on the Heart of Kieran.
Okay.
And now
That's pretty strong.
I expect we will see Rogue Refiner into attack Vraska with Elvish Mystic, which is not great for me. But
I like that you're a realist here.
I'm definitely falling behind.
Yeah, now it's either Teferi or Rogue Refiner, and Teferi is quite strong as well. And I could just get the value by like bouncing an Oath. So it's definitely going to be this land because Botanical Sanctum is not a good 4th land, and it's for sure killing Vraska. Now the only thing I'm afraid of if I go Teferi is an Oko and just making that Goose Loco and getting in there.
That's another reason I like Refiner.
Yeah, I think so as well. But Thoughtseize on Teferi is pretty brutal. But yeah, we're just gonna go with Rogue Refiner here. Draw a card, get a couple energy, which don't really matter in this deck, and then pass to you.
I was gonna say you definitely know I don't have a Thoughtseize because I would have Thoughtseize you last turn for sure. But
yeah,
top of the deck.
Yeah, and our draws were not great.
Definitely get that. Okay, now I feel a little bit better about this game. Pass the turn. It is still not going great.
Yeah, my draws have not been exactly great. All right, attack for 3.
We'll go to 13.
Okay, we'll play a goose, get a food, and unfortunately, God, even giving you a little bit more info. Pass to you.
So the cards in your hand are Breeding Pool and
Yavimaya.
Okay, we'll make a food on your end step.
Okay.
I will shock to 11.
Okay.
And pass the turn.
I sense a dig. I sense some time to be dug through. All right, we'll attack.
Okay, well, I don't have dig. I think I just want to stop the pressure on my life total.
Sure.
Unfortunate use of decay there, but
go.
with Corey bricking off,
just
make a second
not
food.
drawn well.
We got some. Well, one bad draw deserves another.
Yeah, I'll make a food.
Yep.
We're just having a heinous game here.
Who can draw the good cards first?
Yeah.
You're thinking that means you drew something relevant.
I did draw something, and you only have one card. Normally, we'd save this until a more relevant time, but I just need to start scrying. So we'll deal damage to you. Put you to 10. Scry. We don't want a Gilded Goose, believe it or not. And then land go.
Okay. End step, I'll make a food, and I'll decay the Saheeli.
Dang it. That's what we didn't want, but, decay still destroys it if we wait for the combo. At least I get to put a Gilded Goose on the bottom.
You're up.
Food. Your go.
Food. I've got probably more food I can use. I think I'm just gonna gain a little life with one of them.
Sure.
I'll go to 13.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Use my mana now. So, I'm not a deck with Urza that can generate a bunch of mana with the extra food.
I would hope you're not a deck with Urza. That's not legal. So.
I mean, I would hope I am a deck with Urza. That would be nice. That is not a bad draw.
Liliana?
I'll make second black for Liliana and plus on the Elvish Mystic.
Okay. Yeah, you got no creatures.
No creatures to get back, but it'll ramp towards something.
That's a clock. All right, make some food.
Yep.
I could gain life too, but it doesn't really matter from my end. Go. This is heinous.
-2.
Okay.
Let's get back to Jace.
Oh my god.
You're up.
All right, make a food. We'll make a food and crack 2 of them. Why not?
So you're at 24.
Yeah. 24. Dun dun. Jack Bauer. Yeah. Your go.
Okay, end step, make a food.
Okay. This is absurd.
We can start doing some stuff.
I wonder what it's like to do stuff.
Have we ever drawn this bad?
I don't know. This is horrible.
Great. Let's loot with the Jace.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. We'll discard this extra Liliana. We'll transform our Jace.
Sure.
So that's on 5. Not really a lot of great stuff to get back. Have to assume that Corey's card in hand is quite bad.
What? I've been drawing all these bad cards. I have to draw something good.
So I think I will plus on the goose.
Okay. It's a -2/1.
Yeah. Play an Oko.
Okay.
So now we're going to have 2 food and an elk.
Okay.
Plus on one of the food. This will be on 5. Attack for 3.
All right, I will take it. 21.
Brings you to 21. And not really anything to do with the Jace, I don't think. Unless you're like holding a combo piece. There's no way you'd hold a Felidar Guardian.
I could hold a Saheeli, but
you could hold a Saheeli. I guess like you would definitely hold a Saheeli here because you know I'm transforming Jace.
Yep.
The issue is like if I minus and Thoughtseize and you have nothing, then I can't do it next turn if you get something good. I think I have to take the chance that you drew exactly Saheeli and have Felidar on top for one turn. Next turn I'll start activating because I can activate twice in a row. So we'll plus on this again.
This is a -4 -1.
You're up.
Okay, end step, make a food, and we'll sack 2 of them.
You go to 27?
Yeah.
Ross, in general, the last couple turns when you were playing lands every turn, was there any thought to holding some for if you draw Tireless Tracker?
Yeah. I probably should have held one.
Once upon a time?
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Reveal creature or land. Okay. We'll get Felidar Guardian.
I mean, if you find Felidar and then blink into the combo, like there's just nothing I could have done about that.
Felidar Guardian, blink. Didn't get there. Didn't get there. But we did get a Teferi, which is quite strong. Now we'll go with Teferi. No, I don't have great options here. I could blink Felidar Guardian, but then it's going to get Thoughtseized.
Yeah, same with Oath of Nissa.
Yeah.
You probably just want to bounce an Elk.
Yeah, maybe I do.
Because then your Teferi probably lives, right? Like, you know, well, I guess you can't. It's hard for you to block with this because then I Lily on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I could bounce Oath as well to just try to draw something more. Yeah, we'll just bounce an Elk. All right, pass to you.
Make a food, and now we are suddenly in.
Those are kind of the turns that I really needed, 3 turns ago when you were a little drawn just as bad as I was.
That was a draw. We did it.
You did it. Dang it.
Okay.
Sultai Super Friends over there.
How do I want to play this turn? So I want to leave this option to like take the Felidar for as long as possible in case that's something I want to do.
Sure.
But I can't imagine not starting this turn with Dig Through Time.
Yeah, solid start.
Let's delve that one. We'll delve that one. That one. That one. That one.
Seems fair. Seems fair. I draw 6 lands. You draw Dig Through Time, Liliana, Jace, and Oko.
I think I just want to leave. I think I just want to leave the most targets for this Jason here as opposed to this creature to get back with Liliana.
Makes sense.
So we'll look at the top 7.
Dig, dig, dig.
And I can't. Oof. Do I want these 2 or just these 2? Basically only 2 options since we have a duplicate and 4 lands in this pile. So do we want both of the same card or do we want the other one and spread it around?
7 lands, one time. It's been a really weird game.
That it has been. I think we want both of these. Yes.
Okay.
We'll put these on the bottom.
And Dig does not reveal, right?
No, because you got any card types.
Yep.
Okay.
Let the Planeswalkers begin. Got so many options. It's terrifying.
I know. It's terrifying for me too. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I will make an Elk and attack the Teferi.
I'll block.
Okay. I will minus on Thoughtseize and Thoughtseize you.
Dang it.
Take your Oath. I go to 11.
Dang it.
Then I will sacrifice a food, make a black, and destroy the Felidar Guardian.
Okay.
That sorcery speed because of the Teferi.
Yep.
And then I have used Jace and Oko, but I haven't used this. So we will...
Feeling lucky?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Here we go again.
-2 both can net us a card and can potentially like make our Jace better next turn.
Sure.
So I like just taking the risk. Okay, we got a goose. That's not the worst.
Not bad.
Take a goose. We'll get another
lucky.
food.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
All right. So we need Felidar Guardian into the combo here. God, what a T. What a T. All right. We'll tick up. Sure, let's play this. Your turn.
Not gonna do a whole lot.
Not really.
Okay, so that's a good draw. We'll plus there.
Okay.
We'll make another elk with the Oko.
Okay.
That's gonna bring it to 7. I will attack your Teferi with both elks.
Okay.
I will plus the Jace with no targets.
Okay.
And then I will pass the turn.
All right.
Now I have complete control of the game.
I drew it one turn too late.
Yeah. End step will make 2 food.
Oh, that means with the oath, it was one more down. You were 1 card away from death. Yeah, you win.
I have trophy drown.
Yeah, I can't come back now.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, I am very shocked I lost that game because my draws were completely heinous there at that one spot. And then they were good. Like Once Upon a Time, into Guardian, into Teferi, like that's what this deck can do. It's just a value train, but if you still just brick on lands and you had some nice timely thought seizes and stuff like that too. So like you did get my Teferi. And that Teferi was going to generate not only an extra card, but it was going to look at Oath to blink again. Plus, it could keep ticking up and stuff. So I mean, you disrupted me in ways that led to my bad draws, but then the timely couple lands off the top didn't help.
Yeah,
but
no, I was very far behind in the early game. Bad set of draws. Let me claw back into it. I hit the first good card in the Liliana.
Yeah.
Liliana led to a Jace.
Jace. No, it led to 2 Jaces.
Yeah. Jace led to the Oko, which then led to, and then into the dig. And the one turn that it might have stolen it back once I took control.
And I got as close as he really could.
Oh my God.
It was 1 card away without there. So we're going to take a quick break here, do some sideboarding. And I know I have a beautiful card for your matchup. You ever heard of Veil of Summer, Ross?
Nope. What set is that one from?
We're going to be reminded of it next game for our 3rd and final game with round 1 here. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back, everybody, to Versus Live. We are sideboarding here between Sultai Midrange and 4-colored Copycat. I am deciding to bring in, which has to just be the best card against Sultai Midrange. Veil of Summer, it just like hits your entire deck. It just protects the combo. It stops early thought seizes if I leave open green. Sometimes a liability because I do use my mana very efficiently, but yeah, give that one a quick read there.
What an asinine card. Why does it have to do all 3 things?
Yeah, it's nice.
It stops removal, it stops counter spells, and it draws a card. Pick 2 out of the 3.
No kidding. Noxious Grasp is also really good as these, kind of targeted hate cards, but I think Veil is by far the best. It's seeing playing Legacy. This is another card that's just quietly making such a huge impact in all formats. It's no Oko because you don't notice it dominating a game, but almost any time you can stop a removal spell and get to draw a card off it, you just feel absurdly ahead. And then bringing in a couple of Mystical Disputes. It's a 1-mana counterspell against some percentage of your deck. If I could ever hit a dig 3rd time, that's sweet. But just another way for me to force through the combo. And then Reflector Mage and Wild Slash are pretty medium here. You don't have that many good creatures. Wild Slash can kill a goose or whatever, but it's pretty narrow. And our mana base doesn't really support red that much. So yeah. I think that's the choices I'm making. What you got over there?
On my side, I have my own Dispute, which I think is great here.
Really good.
Teferi Oko, especially in the draw if you have it turn 2. I think this is one of the best sideboard cards in the format.
Yep.
Another great sideboard card in Noxious Grasp kills Felidar Guardian, kills Teferi, kills Oko.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah, that's more than enough.
This counters all 12 of my 3-mana Planeswalkers, so that's uncool.
So, and then Needle, just to help against those Planeswalkers, and it'll just stop the combo by naming Saheeli Rise.
Yeah.
So a nice little proactive answer.
I don't really have a good answer to Needle except Knights, but
Teferi.
What if you named Teferi?
Then you can just Saheeli me.
Okay. That's fair.
So I am playing, it's awkward to name Teferi with this card because the static is still really powerful.
Yeah.
I still feel like I need to kill it.
Sure.
So I'm bringing out my Lilianas. I think this is a play draw motivated decision. We saw I had, Liliana and a goose on the draw in the first game, or in the second game.
Yeah.
And I just was not able to kill your Llanowar elves. I guess No, in the first game, yeah.
Yeah.
I was not able to kill Anworlds. I just never found a spot for it because you played Saheeli on 2. Suddenly I have to deal with that. Everything you played was more and more threatening, and the elf just generated so much advantage.
Yeah.
Whereas on the play, I kill the elf, and I'm super far ahead.
And you just destroy me, yeah. So that's why I like that decision. Play draw seems very important for that card.
I'm also cutting a couple Jace Vryn's Prodigies. I did think this card is not that great in the matchup. You know, sometimes you can get a Planeswalker that's already on the battlefield with a flashback, abrupt decay. But as far as disrupting the combo, which is something I'm very concerned with, Jace, the Telepath Unbound, operates at sorcery speed, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
So I think this card is not great in the matchup. So we're trimming 2. So we're down a little bit of card advantage here, cutting all of these Planeswalkers. So I'm really going to be relying on my Okos and my Digger times in the post-board games, and I'm a little worried about that. So that's something to watch out for in this last game here. If I've cut too much of that, if I'm just going to lose the value war.
Yeah, it's interesting because, you know, these do seem like matchups where you don't want to over sideboard almost from both sides. You know, there's key cards, and we are slowing things down a little bit just by both bringing in more reactive stuff. So, I mean, value cards tend to be more important in these post-board games when you slow stuff down like that. So, you know, my Rogue Refiners, my Oaths, Teferi, stuff like that. And, you know, usually your Jaces and Coursers and stuff get better too. So I'll be interested to know if what's exactly right there as well.
And that's the benefit of playing these mid-range combo decks.
Yeah.
That your opponents are always sideboarding to deal with the combo, and you're just sideboarding to win that mid-range fight.
Yeah.
And you're well set up to do it, and that they're going to be worse at doing that, you know, than they otherwise would be.
Yeah.
And that false tempo that you're gaining from fighting on 2 angles is really important and one of the key strengths of this archetype.
100%.
And that's why we like it in these proactive shells, because that's where you get the false tempo.
It's just so much more fun to play. You got any questions for us, Rob, while we're shuffling up?
Do.
All right.
We obviously have had a big discussion about Oko today in the chats.
Yeah, and every day, right?
Yeah, and Todd is in here and wanted to know what you think about Oko in each format. Is he actually the best Planeswalker ever? Some people have been saying.
I mean, it feels weird to just say, like, for sure, because it's the thing that's making the biggest impression, but I think so. You know, I mean, it's just so insane. It's just so insane.
It's messed up.
It really is.
I'm curious, so I definitely think the card should be banned in Standard. I think it's too good.
There's a chance they just hit the reset button. They're like, listen, we're sorry. This one's rough. We're just going to get rid of it in every format, you know? Send it packing.
Modern, I would like to see how that fair Oko Urza deck does without Mox Opal.
Yeah.
I think without Mox Opal, I think the deck is still powerful, but I think it's a lot easier to just run over with decks like Amulet Titan, even Burn. You know, the unfair decks in Modern are better able to keep it in check if they're not casting their Okos on turn 2 and Urzas on turn 3.
Yeah.
So I want to see that deck without Mox Opal before I see it without Oko. And Mox Opal is just an obviously egregious card as well.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best cards in Pioneer. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. You know, Goose Oko and Teferi are the surrounding shell for the cat combo so far. One of the best ones. Oko's in part of the most successful mid-range deck.
Yeah.
You know, that it's just a really good Magic card. Whether it's too good, I think there are other more powerful cards in Pioneer that hopefully can keep it in check.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it is.
I think Standard for sure it should get the axe. Yeah. But, you know, maybe Pioneer as well, and then keep it around for Modern and Legacy. Just, you know, I mean, you got to keep new cards around for some value. You can't just disintegrate them. But yeah, Todd, that card's messed up, and I'm sure you know it just as well as we do. That card is a broco.
Why is it a +1? Make that a -1. Or have it start on 3. The card might not be busted if it started on 3. Like, then you could at least fry it when they make a food token.
Yeah. The fact that it can't be fried, I think, is pretty criminal.
It's just comical.
All right, I think I'm going to keep this. It's a little risky, but very powerful upside.
I'm definitely going to keep her a little land heavy, but we've got a really good, start.
Okay, we're going to go to 18 and play an Oath. And we will hit this and pass to you.
Okay, I will play an Overgrown Tomb tapped.
All right. Untap. Oh, right on time. It wasn't right on time.
Sounds like a Gilded Goose.
Oh, no. Way worse than that.
More elves.
All right, your turn.
My turn. My turn.
Your turn.
I will play let's play Botanical Sanctum.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
Once upon a time? It resolves. Aha! It resolves, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hope so, because I just rearranged the top cards. All right, we'll go with this. We were on a land light hand, but luckily Oath and Once Upon a Time's got our back. All right, we'll untap. Now, what do we want to play? We got a lot of options. If we take a look at my hand, I think it's one of these three. Whatever we play is very likely to die to removal. This is the only card that can't die to removal, but it dies to counter spells. So not being able to die to Abrupt Decay, I think, is the most appealing thing here. Yay! All right, and I think we're going to get our value while we can, and just bounce this and draw a card. Your turn. That was a nice draw.
That was the card I didn't want to see. I have a nice one, too. We'll play an Oko.
That's pretty nice.
And make a food.
Okay.
You're up. I'm going to get some pastries.
All right. We're going to uptick here. And then... we are going to... Options.
Options.
I love options. Now, let's go with a... God, this is tough. Our hand is just so sweet. I just can't take it. Okay, so I'm thinking about this or one of these. Or I guess just even these. I just really have options here. Scary. Wow. Wow. I got to tank this out for a quick sec. All right, we're going to go like this. We're going to go with Saheeli. We're going to tick up.
That'll bring me to 19.
19, and we'll scry. That might be okay. Now we'll put that on the bottom. Okay, and then pass to you.
Okay. Happy to not see a mana creature there as a blocker.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate.
So I will plus this Oko, get an Elk.
Yep.
I will attack your Teferi.
It's dead.
And then I will... There's not a 1-mana spell you can cast other than Mystical Dispute, right? At least for single blue. You're not playing like Spell Pierce.
You don't know. I'm an
No.
unknown opponent.
I mean, I'll go for it.
Mhm.
Let's do it with a Watery Grave. I'll go to 17.
Okay.
Cast Vraska Golgari Queen.
Okay.
-3 on Saheeli.
Forget. Boom! And that's the game. Kobe fades back. He jukes around, shoots, and scores.
Yeah, I mean, my other option was to leave up removal where I could have, done that, but like that leaves me kind of far behind.
Yeah, you definitely had to do that. You
So
definitely had to do double there.
If I leave this and you play land 5, plus your Saheeli, get your point in, and then play Felidar Guardian, hold up Veil. You go to blink the Saheeli, and then I decay it.
And then I veil, and then you
veil,
grasp.
and then I grasp this in response.
And then you get to attack back it, and then I'm dead.
Yeah, Okay, got a little greedy. Forgot it. You literally pointed it out too.
Yeah, I was literally saying about how nice Veil is.
I mean, that would have left me with both my removal spells gone. But I guess you just didn't. Your hand was pretty bad.
My hand was pretty bad from then, and I had last turn was really tough because I had this to play. This was in play, so I could have Felidar blunked that. Blunked, that's probably not a word. But this was an insanely tough turn. But I was playing and hoping you didn't have 2 removals because that was the only thing, is I had the Veil plus Saheeli.
I guess you didn't even have a land 5.
I didn't have land 5,
so
no.
If you don't draw land 5, you don't even go for it. But then I'm just kind of wasting my mana at that point.
Yeah, and I did draw a Goose off the Veil there, So yeah, I was not hitting land 5. I would have drawn Teferi.
In response to Teferi, I definitely would have Abrupt Decayed here.
Yeah.
Then you get to Veil, and then draw a card, and then bounce this Elk, and then but then I get to Vraska the Saheeli, but then I can't attack the Teferi.
Yeah.
that game would have actually gone on for a while.
It would have definitely gone on, and I think you had to be in a spot with me having one combo piece. You just have to go with max disruption because you're really forcing. Like if I have Veil there, it's just game, So
yeah, I mean, if you have Veil plus Feller, it's game. But like that's the issue with playing against these decks. Like I want to play that mid-range game. I want to use my mana, get my planeswalkers down, start grinding that value. Because if I don't, you're going to do that back to me.
100%.
And Teferi was making a lot of my. I had a removal heavy hand. I had 2 pushes back as well. And so I'm sitting there and I'm just like, well, I just want to generate this advantage. But I did have Oko going. That's the kicker, I think. The fact that I have Oko going along, already means that I'm not forced to go that hard to generate the value.
Exactly.
So with a combo piece and an Oko on my side, I think you're right. I should just play more conservatively.
Yeah.
So not the best line from yours truly.
Yeah, we win some, we lose some.
Yeah.
I'll take him where I can get against Pioneer against you. I've been getting, it's been, instead of Versus Live, it's been Farming Corey Live in Pioneer so far. So I'll take the wins when I can get them here. Looks like we got a little bit of time, though. Let's maybe take a question or two before we get round 2 going here.
Yeah.
Sure. Corey,
yes.
Comrade Brain wants to know, what do you think of the Vanifar cat deck?
The what?
Vanifar Prime Speaker.
Have you seen this deck?
Oh, it's like the birthing pod kind of thing?
So do you remember Kiki Pod in Modern?
Yes.
That had those weird chains that would always like untap their pod with Deceiver Exarchs and images?
I wasn't playing at the time, so I'm not super familiar.
Okay.
That's when I was going to school. I mean,
so here's what this deck does.
Okay.
So you untap, and your opponent has Prime Speaker, Vanifar, and Land Elves, or you have that. Your opponent hasn't done anything. And you have access to colorless blue-red. Like Saheeli mana, you win the game.
You just win?
Yeah. So here's what you do. You sack your land, float your green or whatever. Sack your Land Elves to Vanifar. You get Corridor Monitor. 2 mana, 1/4 that untaps a creature.
Okay.
So you untap your Vanifar. You sack the Corridor Monitor.
I saw this on Andre Mangucci's Twitter. He played against this deck.
You get Renegade Rallier.
Yeah.
Now you have Revolt active, so you return the Corridor Monitor. Untap your pod.
Okay.
Sack the Monitor again. Now you get Bounding Crisis. Untap your pod. Now you sack the Renegade Rallier. You get Felidar Guardian. You blink your Bounding Crisis. You untap your pod. Then you sack the Felidar Guardian. You get Thalia's Lancers. 5 mana, 4/4 first strike. When it ETBs, you search for a legendary card, put it in your hand.
way.
You find your Saheeli. Then you cast it. That's why you need the colors blue-red.
Yeah.
Now you -2 on your tapped Vanifar. You have a token of it that has haste. You keep that one from Legend Rule. Let the other one die. Then you sacrifice the Bounding Crisis that you had, get Felidar Guardian, blink the Saheeli, and you're all set.
Wow.
It plays like a Deputy, a Reflector Mage, a Voice of Resurgence as like value cards or answers to key permanents.
Oh my god!
And Mana Acceleration, Teferi, Oko still plays those. Once Upon a Time, you could just combo turn 3.
Well, honestly, what I've been, I even saw like this deck in Modern, like obviously not the same thing, but just like Renegade Rallier with Felidar Guardian and just absurd ways to abuse it, like Lotus Cobra and stuff like that. So I always thought Renegade Rallier like just had such a high ceiling. It just hasn't found the right shell. Yeah, I mean this deck's the first time hearing of this, but that sounds unreal. That sounds just unreal. And
I mean, think that deck has a lot of potential.
It's a 4-mana sorcery creature, though, of noteworthy. I mean, you can just Teferi that back, Noxious Grasp, whatever. You have to do it on the spot, it seems like.
Well, your Saheeli sometimes just gives it haste.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, that deck seems sweet. Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we got a Versus Live deck on our hands here, huh?
Yeah. Like if you go like I don't know, like if you have a 2-drop in play. So if you go 2-drop Saheeli and Vanifar, they're dead. You sack the 2-drop, you get Bound and Crisis, you untap the Vanifar, you sack that, get Felidar Guardian.
Wow. Okay, so whoever asked that question, Rob, send me that list in my on my Twitter private message. I think I'll be slapping that together for Thursday. That sounds awesome.
Yes, that is.
I got to stay on brand in my copycat, right? But I can't just keep playing the same deck. That's no fun. But that's significantly different.
No,
I'll take that.
That is a very combo-oriented deck, but
yes.
It seems super consistent, very fast, very powerful. Still has Oko, Teferi to play a fair game, and. Has a good sideboard.
Yeah.
So that deck I think is.
I like that
good.
you say it's very consistent when it has to play like probably 15 one-ups.
No, it plays It plays 2 Corridor Monitor, 2 Rallier, 1 Bounding Crisis, 1 Thalia's Lancers.
Okay,
those 6 cards are your like kind of mediocre combo enablers.
Sure.
Everything else is just a good card by itself.
Yeah. Someone send me that list. That one seems sweet.
Yeah, really. There's not much chaff in the deck. It's impressively lean, very well built.
Wow.
I think that deck's very good.
Mind blown. Rob, we got time for one more question.
So what do you think of the walking constrictor like counter build around decks? Do you think those are still a force in the metagame? There didn't seem to be many in the challenge.
The Hardened Scales decks
Yes.
with Wine and Constrictor. I'm not a fan of them.
Yeah.
One, I think their curve is really glutted at 2. That's a problem already in the modern version.
Yeah.
The too many 2s. This version is even worse about that. And you don't have Mox Opal to accelerate and maybe turn 3 play 2 drops.
Yeah.
So that's a big problem I have with them. The other problem I have is, you're porting this deck over because a lot of the cards carry over. And yeah, Hardened Scales is the most important card, but you're losing the next two most important cards from the modern version, which are Inkmoth Nexus and Arcbound Ravager.
Yeah.
I don't know when you play against that deck in modern, you probably haven't played against it much.
Not much, no.
But I've played against it a fair amount. And when they don't draw Arcbound Ravager or Inkmoth Nexus, I find them very easy to beat.
Yeah.
Because those are the cards that threaten the early wins, the cards that make me play awkwardly, and Arcbound Ravager is so powerful. It's been powerful in every single format all the time. I don't think without that kind of, I win button that lets you either go all in on a Walking Ballista and deal a bunch of damage, or go all in on Inkmoth and deal a bunch of Infect and win in that one turn. That deck just seems like a mopey aggro deck that has some cool synergies, but it's just too slow, and it's really dependent on drawing its, Winding Constrictors and Hardened Scales.
Yeah, it doesn't get to abuse any very powerful cards. Like, Hardened Scales is a build-around card, but, it doesn't seem like it can stand on its own. And I mean, like, Teferi's running everywhere, bouncing some of these creatures that get tokens on them and stuff seems really bad. All the, Winding Constrictor seems like your most important creature, and Fatal Pushes everywhere in the control-ish style decks.
Yeah, Fatal Push kills all your stuff.
Everything, yeah.
So I'm not a fan.
I'm not a fan either, but I do love Nissa and Winding Constrictor. But even in Standard, when I took second out of GP with it back like before Teamer Energy was discovered, but like a couple people played it, like you just got dominated by Teamer Energy. So once that deck started popping up, I was like, okay, this deck's unplayably bad, even though it was super fun.
I will say, if that's a deck you really have your heart set on, Nissa Voices Zendikar is an important part of it.
Yeah.
Play 4 copies of that card. It's one of your more powerful cards in the deck because it both generates bodies that can receive tokens and spreads tokens around. Really synergizes well with both Hardened Scales and Winding Constrictor, and helps just, fix your curve. Instead of playing 2-drop into 2-drop, you can actually play 2-drop into 3-drop, be a little bit more powerful.
Yeah.
So Nissa is a card I would look to in those decks if that's something you really want to play, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah. So if you're a dice aficionado and you really want to get your fill, I mean, give it a shot. It's not endorsed by Ross or I. Maybe Rob's shoes. It's a flashy deck, so it might be endorsed by Ross's flashy shoes.
They have the Stonecoil Serpent has protection from multicolored, so I don't know if I can do that.
I do like.
Yeah, your shoes are definitely multicolored.
I do like Stonecoil Serpent as a card.
Yeah.
Dodges Abrupt Decay, dodges Teferi, dodges Oko, has trample to get over those and pressure planeswalkers, is really good at wearing and Soul Artifact.
Yeah.
I think those decks are pretty good. There were several copies, different builds of them in the league results. So you play a 1/1 Stonecoil Serpent and then you ensoul it. It's a 6/6 trample that dodges a lot of different removal, basically everything other than Fatal Push. So they're really forced to do that, to have that. That's a card I like, but I think it goes into other shells like that Scissors deck rather than Hardened Scales.
I like it. Okay, well, we are going to take a short break here, and then we are going to come back. Just a short 5 minute, right, Rob? Okay, and then we're going to come back. I just got to play my pet deck. Now we get to play Ross's pet deck here. Ross will be playing Is It Phoenix, and I am trying out a deck that had some mild success at this last Modern Challenge. I'm trying Mono Black Devotion with a little spice of a vampire little subtype here. So
Halloween's Thursday, appropriate deck.
Yeah, exactly. So we got some spooky stuff going on. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you here in 5 minutes.